Sorry, can I just check with timing? We've got the 1 o'clock thing upstairs.
No, it's here, isn't it?
Yes, here.
Yeah.
Okay, the Lancaster Park
Yeah.
briefing, and we've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so be quick.
So be quick. So, Phil, you had...
I've got an amendment to E, changing E for something different that will apply to the one meeting that this committee would have.
Right.
And I think there might also be a request so that community boards sort of do speak with not one voice altogether, but it is clear, the view of the board is clear, that in fact community board advisors be requested to, I guess, to compile the key points that their board might like to make to the committee. But Mike might like to comment on that further too.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess there's just a bit of a concern that if these aren't going to the community boards before our committee meeting, that we won't necessarily get the views of the community board and maybe just the chair. So I guess we'd like it'd be good if that the chair and community board advisor obviously detail their report and then email it out to community board members just to get the overall majority of that community board before it comes to the committee.
Okay, so is the, it says that, has the Northern Line and Quarryman's Trail cycleway routes been to their respective community boards already?
What the process was that there was a briefing to which all community board members were invited, and most community board members were able to attend that. But there wasn't any formal community board meetings, which is why Mike. So I think if we make a note around along the lines that Mike suggested to all of these amendments, to all of these these resolutions, that should cover the processes so that they're clear and fair.
It's really just providing an avenue for the community boards to feed in, isn't it?
If they want to further. All right. Yep. Sorry, did you have a question?
Yeah, I don't see how community board chairs can represent a community board view if they haven't had a formal board meeting for that board to take a position on it. So some boards have got meetings, and I guess within the time constraints, some boards won't be able to make a formal decision.
Well, is that
not
a
even
problem?
getting a report.
Bearing in mind, we got a very good steer from the joint briefing the other day, and most of the obstacles seem to be overcome, and there didn't seem to be many issues in there. So I don't think we need to make something out of this that is.
Well, this is removing community board decision making.
No, it wasn't community board.
I just don't understand.
No. Sorry, the ITI committee used to make these decisions. We haven't established the new committees yet, and so this is an interim procedure just to take care of the Northern Line and Quarryman's Trail cycleway route, so it doesn't get held up before Christmas.
So under E, my understanding of the impact of this amendment is to remove the ability for community boards to make recommendations, which would be done with a report, and puts it into an informal process that relies on the chair to present a view of a board without having any meeting to determine what that view is.
How many community boards are there affected?
There's at least 5
community boards.
Community boards affected. These are two major cycleways going through crossing a lot of the city.
So we defer this then?
No, we don't. No, not at all. I think we should. If someone wants to oppose it, that's fine. I think to get this underway, and so that staff can continue with this work after Christmas, we need to make a decision today to actually set up the committee. If we don't, there will be a long delay. And I don't think councillors or this council really want that. So that is why I have moved the amendment. And if people want to vote against it, that's fine.
Well, can I get an answer from the staff as to why E was put in the first place if it was going to risk this project?
So, yeah, hang on. Okay, right. Well, Aaron Kewen's moved it and Phil Clearwater's seconded it. So,
did you add any other members of the community board to it? Yeah.
So it's hardly any of
community board members can come along.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any community board members, just like the public, can attend.
Yeah.
Be part of the discussion.
All right, so we're going to let all of the community board members know that this is on, that they can speak through their chair if they want to, but they can
Say it themselves.
say it themselves if they want to.
If they really wish to.
Yep. All right. Okay, so I've got a mover and a seconder. I'll put that,
For a
Yanni.
discussion. Yeah. I won't be supporting this. I don't believe, as a council, it stood on giving more responsibilities to community boards, not taking away. That E actually is fair with the proposed amendment put in place. I think this is taking away local decision making from local community boards, and I strongly oppose that. So I won't be supporting this. I can see no reason, if staff felt that it was okay to have E as it was originally proposed in this report, why we should then be introducing an amendment to take away the ability for them to make recommendations. So I won't support this. I don't think that this is fair on the community boards in terms of local people electing local community board members to represent and advocate on their behalf, being excluded from making formal recommendations to these things.
Sarah.
Thank you. I mean, I share Yanni's concerns about the involvement of community boards. It's been an ongoing concern for a while now, where there hasn't been formal reporting and recommendations from community boards on the cycleways projects. I do understand the reasons in this particular circumstance with the Christmas holidays coming up and the break over the election period, but I wouldn't want to see this continue when the new committees are formed, and I would hope that people would support community boards making full recommendations to the new committee when it's formed, that's going to make decisions on all the other cycleways. But because there's the exceptional circumstances in this one, I'm going to support it. But really foreshadowing stuff for the future resolutions on committees.
Pauline.
Super quickly, look, this cycleway process I think has been excellent. This one is a little bit different because the committee, the ITI committee hasn't been formed yet. Prior to that, they were going to the ITI committee for delegated authority. But before that, the staff have been out with community boards presenting. They've been fantastic. They've held so many public meetings with every single cycleway project. I can't commend them highly enough. They're incredibly patient. They're incredibly specific in every little part of the project. I think they're doing an amazing job. Every community board member and every board has ample opportunity to feed into these and will have in the future. And I think it's going really well. So I'll support it.
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate the point that this is for these two cycleway routes. It is important that we continue with the progress, but I would give the absolute reassurance that Councillor Templeton's looking for, and that is that the engagement with community boards and the time and the ability for them to feed into the process is pretty important, and we wouldn't want to see that diminished. The delegation will go to the new committees when they're established, so this gets us through the period as it is at the moment. It certainly isn't any sort of attempt to undermine what are affected community boards, but we did. The reason that we took the delegation specifically into the committee structure was so that it was accepted that this was a major cycle network for the city, and network decisions are a little bit like metro decisions. They've got to have that wider thing, and often there is more than one community board involved. So, but anyway, that's I hope some reassurance that this is not going to be the normal way that things will proceed in the future. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. As opposed say no. No. That's Dion Swiggs and Yanni Johansson. And the next item on the agenda, because we've got...
Do you want?
Yep.
So now you need to go back and have a move on.
No,
Unless Phil and
No.
doing that at the same time.
No, it was just an amended
Okay, so the whole
resolution. Yeah.
Right, so the whole thing's gone through.
Yeah. So the appointment of a recess committee. Now, did we get the wording changed?
Do you want councillor Manji added to that?
Well, I don't know. Are you here over Christmas, Rev? Are you here over Christmas? No. Well, we just need I mean, there is a point where I'm going to be in the Coromandel and Councillor Turner is going to be overseas. Is anyone, are you physically here? Right. Jamie's here? Okay. And Mike's here? Okay, so, all right, so appoint a recess committee comprising the mayor, the deputy mayor or Councillor Goff, and a minimum of 3 councillors, and then the quorum is the mayor, deputy mayor or Councillor Goff. And 3 councillors. Why would you say that that's the quorum when it says a minimum? Anyway, seems odd. But anyway,
It is.
Or you could have more councillors.
agree that notice of any meeting be publicised and forwarded to all councillors. So basically anyone who attends can participate in the decisions. That's the point. Yeah. So how do we
For full participation in voting rights after councillors. Who will get full participation rights?
No, that's fine as it is.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay?
Yep.
So anyone who agree that the notice be publicised and forwarded to all councillors, any of whom can participate. Yeah. And then it's clear that that's the point of
So
it.
yes.
All right, well, I'll move the recess committee. Do I have a seconder? Pauline? I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And we will now resolve